Welcome to the first episode of Season Roundup, a series where I take a look at all the anime I watched in a season and discuss what I liked or didn't like about them. To start us off, I will be diving into winter 2016 of anime. Now, so far 2016 has shaped up to be one of the best years in anime I have seen in quite a while, and winter really did kick us off in all the right ways. We came back fresh into the season with Akagami, which is one of my favorite romance series to come out in quite a few years. Like the first season, it's a sweet and cute love story between a girl and her love for a prince, and somehow it topped the first season. We had major developments with our characters, primarily Raji, as that guy I hated in the first season, and midway through the second, he became a favorite of mine. The ending for the season does leave it conclusive enough that if no season 3 were to happen, that really is okay, though there is a lot of room for so much more, and I'm really hoping a third season does happen, though this is bones. Assassination Classroom made its return with Season 2. This will be the final season for the show as it's adapting all the manga with this season. Some manga readers feel like it's rushing things too much, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the comedy and the story arcs this season has to offer, and I think like Akagami, this season was better than the last. Assassination Classroom has always been a refreshing school series to me, so I'm interested to see how this season wraps up with its final season. Next up is For Rhythm Across the Blue, which is a mouthful to say the least, and yes, I know that is what she said. It is a sports series about characters who play this game of racing to different pillars on a course while using these flying shoes. It's a very self-aware show, and though I did drop this around the episode 3 mark, I did like what I saw, but wasn't something that held my interest enough to continue. Though, with all the bullshit we have seen over the past few years, if you were to watch this, this will definitely top most of the bullshit that you've probably already seen over the past couple of years. Oh, Erase, the show everyone loved for, well, most of the season, and then halfway through, hated it by the end. I spent enough time on this channel singing praise to it, but I'll sum up my thoughts like this. It was my favorite of the season. I liked the ending a lot and disagree with most of the hate. If you want to watch my thoughts get really expanded, go watch any of the podcasts we did for J-Works with any of the erased backgrounds, or just go watch my In Defense of Erased video, which is about 15 minutes of me explaining why I disagree with the anime community. Dagashi Kashi was a show I dropped on episode 2. People seem to really like this series, and I don't know why, since I found it quite boring and just not funny. But hey, people have different humor, so power to the people who liked it, but I found it, well, not very good in the slightest, and it caused for a lot of copyright bullshit in the community, hence why I'm not showing footage of this show. Dimension W is a show that started out strong, but by the end became quite mediocre. It looked nice, it had a great OST, but just felt mediocre with its characters and ass-full of an ending. I don't recommend anyone watch it, but at the same time I don't regret watching it. Divine Gate, I liked the first episode a lot, the rest not so much. It's pretty bad and really not much to say, it's just a bad action show with great looking hair. Season 2 of Gate, the series that people hated the ending for, which was so bizarre to me since I thought it wrapped up everything quite nicely. Though there were some questionable scenes with some of its characters and their ages at times, it was a fun ride and I'd watch a season 3 if they made it, though if they leave it at season 2, it's actually a pretty conclusive ending that really isn't a go fuck you read the manga ending. Grimgar Fantasy of Ash was one of the most refreshing anime I've seen in a while. From its watercolor style to the realistic pacing of the show, this was something I didn't see coming and really hope it gets a second season. It's probably the best trapped in a video game anime there is, and it doesn't rush anything and gives us believable characters. It's about time. Haruchika is a very weird anime to me. I like PA Works a lot, but they are a very hit or miss studio to me. This is a miss. It set the first episode up to be this mystery, and by the end of the first episode, it's just a show that tries to be funny and fails miserably. I know it's not a bad show per se, but it's something I didn't feel the need to, kind of watch past episode 2, and really, I think it tries to be more than it's capable of. But presentation-wise, it is beautiful though. And the award for funniest anime of the season goes to Konosuba. This is an anime I told my friends would be great and they didn't believe me, and by the end they all loved this anime. It's refreshing, it's funny, it has stupid characters that make you laugh each and every episode. And to top it off, there is a second season coming. Studio Dean is coming back strong this year, which is weird since they generally aren't that good of a studio, but hey, they are kicking ass and taking names this year, and I'm not complaining. Luck and Logic, another anime I dropped around episode 3. I actually really liked the first episode, but afterwards it became worse than most harem series, which is saying a lot. Each character has this goddess that lets them fight with this weapon and armor. It had a really cool premise, it just failed the execution after the first episode and went to every single trope and cliche there is, which I really should have saw coming. KyoAni came back with Phantom World that did a lot of cool things with powers, such as having the main female summon elements from the Chinese mythology, not the typical substances like platinum or mercury. It had a lot of cool things going for it, and though midway through it did stall, by the end it came back to an enjoyable experience. Nothing amazing or bad, just a fun series, and that's all it wanted to be, so it succeeded at exactly that. German the anime was an interesting one. It had horrible CGI, but a pretty likable cast of characters, as they fight a war in 1983 with mechs. Two sides of Germany with a lot of corruption leads for this to be a sleeper hit for the season. At times there are drastic jumps in the story since they decided to hide a lot of the scenes for after the credits, which I didn't know till I was done with the series. And to top it off, it actually had a conclusive ending. Well, I'll be. Marshmallow Man the anime was a cute anime following a girl who is madly in love with a chunky man who loves marshmallows and wants for him to notice her as a female and not as a coworker. It really was a nice little romance, but another season really isn't needed, it's fine where it is. Digimon Movie 2 came out, and like the first, it was fantastic. Had some heartbreaking scenes, great action and character development. Digimon is back and better than ever. Go watch it, unless you've never seen the first two series. In that case, go watch those first, and then come back to this, and then we'll talk. Durara Season 4, or Season 2, Arc 3, whatever the fuck you want to call it. A very fun show that, surprisingly enough, like a couple others this season, had a pretty damn good ending. It obviously left room for more, but wrapped up everything it needed to be, and remained at the top of the best English dubs that there are for anime. If you haven't watched this series and you want 50 or so episodes of insane, wacky, crazy fun, following gangs and some supernatural elemental twists, Durara will be your cup of tea. Now I will say Arc 2 of Season 2, god damn, this is just... Season 3 of Durara, so fuck your Arc 3s. That was an arc that I did enjoy, however, it was probably the worst arc I found in Durara. This arc, however, it made me just become so attached to Durara again, so all the stuff that bored me and just I didn't like in the second arc there, I forgive because of this arc. And overall, it still remains in my top 30 anime, because of how damn good this ending was. So another entry in the Monogatari series came out, but this time a short. We followed 12 short episodes with Araragi and a multitude of mini gag-like episodes throughout the Monogatari timeline. And though I was fine with it just being funny and silly and just a kind of a one-off entry in the series, by the end of the anime, it set up the next Monogatari arc in probably the best way possible. Easily one of my favorites of the season. If you want an amazing harem with hilarious and clever dialogue, Monogatari is definitely for you. Though be warned, it is a very love it or hate it series. It's in my top 3, so you know my opinion of it, but the thing is if you watch an episode and you are completely turned off, you most definitely will be turned off for the rest of the series. Keep that in mind. Fairy Tail Zero is a spin-off arc for the Fairy Tail 2014 series. Following Mavis and her story of how she created Fairy Tail goes back to the good old days of Fairy Tail before it was just ass shots and, tits. It actually had really likable characters and charm. It's nothing mind-blowing, mind you, but it did remind me a lot of what I enjoy about Fairy Tail and how I hope the series can go back to what it used to be, just a fun shonen and not borderline hentai. Last and not least, Sekko Boys. This is the most stupid, disturbing, and unique anime I have seen in quite a while, and it's great. Following a girl who manages sculptures who are idols, and honestly, that's it. It's funny, it's dumb, and you should watch it, and has one of the most ridiculous casts of voice actors. They are way too talented to be voice acting for sculptures. There is not a more unique show out there that I've seen in, honestly, probably ever. Go watch it, give it a shot, you won't be disappointed. And overall, this season was great, and so far spring is even better. Each season I see people say the last was shit, and people said that about this season, but hey, I loved it. We had a race, Konosuba, Akagami, Monogatari, so many great and funny shows, and though we had some generic ones like Luck and Logic and Divine Gate, there was still a great variety of excellent ones. So until next time, where I will be tackling the spring season, take care and thank you for watching, and I do plan on making these videos every single season, so stay tuned unless you're a piece of shit like my friend Nick. Go fuck yourself, Nick.